Tarte tatin, an upside-down apple tart that is made with caramelized apples and puff pastry. Tarte tatin is often served with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. These are just a few of the many delicious foods that you can find in Paris.
Today, you are going to be visiting Paris, France. Paris is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, and for good reason. It's a beautiful city with a rich history and culture. There are so many things to see and do in Paris, from visiting world-famous landmarks to exploring hidden gems. In this video, you are going to get a brief overview of Paris, and then some of your favorite places to visit. There are also some good tips on how to get around the city and how to budget for your trip. So, whether you're a first-time visitor or a seasoned traveler, I hope you'll find this video helpful. Let's get started. Best locations, spots and landmarks of Paris. The Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, and it's definitely worth seeing if you're in Paris. You can climb to the top of the tower for stunning views of the city. The Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum is one of the largest and most famous museums in the world, and it houses a vast collection of art from around the world. Some of the most famous works of art in the world, such as the Mona Lisa, are on display at the Louvre. The Notre Dame Cathedral. The Notre Dame Cathedral is a beautiful Gothic cathedral that is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Paris. The cathedral was severely damaged in a fire in 2019, but it is currently undergoing restoration. The Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe is a triumphal arch that stands at the end of the Champs-Élysées, a famous avenue in Paris. The arch was built in the early 19th century to commemorate the French Revolution. The Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles was the home of the French royal family from the 17th century to the late 18th century. The palace is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is known for its lavish interiors and gardens. Montmartre. Montmartre is a hilltop neighborhood in Paris that is known for its Sacré-Cœur Basilica, its vineyards, and its cobbled streets. Montmartre is also a popular spot for artists and has a lively nightlife scene. The Seine River. The Seine River runs through Paris and is a popular spot for tourists to take boat rides. The river is also home to several bridges, including the Pont Neuf, which is the oldest bridge in Paris. These are just a few of the many great places to visit in Paris. With so much to see and do, you're sure to have a great time in this amazing city. But before that, you must check below very important tips and points to be followed very carefully. High prices. Paris is one of the most expensive cities in the world, so travelers should be prepared to spend a lot of money on accommodation, food, and activities. Language barrier. French is the official language of France, and many people in Paris do not speak English. This can make it difficult to communicate with locals and get around the city. Crowds. Paris is a very popular tourist destination, so it can be crowded, especially during the summer months. This can make it difficult to find places to sit, eat, or walk around. Pickpockets. Paris is a major city, and like any major city, it has its share of pickpockets. Travelers should be aware of their surroundings and take precautions to protect their belongings. Culture shock. Paris is a very different city from many other places in the world, and travelers may experience culture shock. This can be anything from feeling overwhelmed by the size of the city to feeling out of place because of the language barrier. If you are planning a trip to Paris, it is important to be aware of these challenges. By being prepared, you can help to ensure that your trip is enjoyable and hassle-free. Here are some tips for dealing with these challenges. Plan your budget carefully. Before you go, research how much things cost in Paris so you can set a budget and stick to it. Learn some basic French. This will help you to communicate with locals and get around the city. Avoid peak tourist season. If you can, try to avoid visiting Paris during the summer months when it is the most crowded. Be aware of your surroundings, keep an eye on your belongings and be careful not to flash your cash or valuables. Be open to new experiences. Paris is a great city with a lot to offer, so be open to trying new things and exploring different neighborhoods.
Paris is a city of great food, and there are many dishes that are considered to be favorites among locals and tourists alike. Here are a few of the most famous and popular foods in Paris. Croissant. This buttery, flaky pastry is a classic French breakfast food. It is often served with jam or chocolate spread. Crêpe, a thin pancake that can be filled with a variety of sweet or savory ingredients, such as Nutella, cheese, ham, and eggs. Macaron, a small, delicate cookie made with almond flour and filled with ganache or buttercream. Macarons are often brightly colored and decorated with intricate designs. Baguette, a long, thin loaf of bread that is a staple of French cuisine. Baguettes are often served with cheese, ham, or other cold cuts for lunch or dinner. Soufflé, a light, airy dish made with eggs, sugar, and flour. Soufflés can be sweet or savory, and they are often served with a sauce or garnish. Pot-au-feu, a hearty stew made with beef, potatoes, carrots, and other vegetables. Pot-au-feu is typically served with a side of bread or crusty baguette. Coq au vin, a classic French dish made with chicken, red wine, mushrooms, and bacon. Coq au vin is typically served with rice or mashed potatoes. Tarte tatin, an upside-down apple tart that is made with caramelized apples and puff pastry. Tarte tatin is often served with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. These are just a few of the many delicious foods that you can find in Paris. With so much to choose from, you're sure to find something to your taste.